بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. من فوق كل ذي علم عليم. Now I am going to solve this test. Okay. So let us start with question 1. In the course name, apply VLOOKUP to write the course name as a result based on course ID. Get the result from the small table. Okay, now, so in the course name, we want simply to get this result based on matching the course ID with the course ID. So, equals VLOOKUP. So matching what? Course ID, comma, where in the small table, comma, we will get the result from which column? It's column number 2, as you see, 1, 2. So course name is column number 2, second one, so it's number 2, comma, is it true or false? This one is false because we are going to make exact match. We are matching the course ID with the course ID, so for sure it has to be the same one. Okay, click enter, then let us go here to the right corner and double click to get the result for the whole column, repeating the function. Okay, so the next question is, in the number of past courses, number of failed courses, apply COUNTIF to specify the number of past courses. Now, in the number of past tests, we are going to use COUNTIF. So equals COUNTIF open bracket. So count what? We are going to count these results, comma. So what is the criteria of the number of past? Simply it is past. It has to be between two quotation marks, as you see, because this is a text. Close the bracket. So this is number of past tests. Now it is already calculated for the whole column. Number of failed tests is the same, equals COUNTIF open bracket. So highlight all failed tests, or all tests, sorry, all results, comma. The criteria this time is failed. Click enter, double click to repeat the formula. So now we got the number of failed tests. Okay. Number 3, in the all past, apply AND function, AND, to specify the number of past tests. Here we want to apply function to see how many, if it is all past, yes or no. So we are going to apply AND function to give us the result as true if only all tests are passed. So equals AND open bracket. So AND what? The first one, you click on the test and you put the condition equals passed. So the first one has to be equal to passed, comma. What other condition? Second one equals passed. Okay, comma. What else? Third one equals passed, comma. What else? Fourth one equals passed. Okay, now it will give false because, as you see, not all of them is passed. All of them has to be passed at the same time to be true. So let us repeat the function. You will see that it will come true like this situation: passed, 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 passed. So this is the solution of number 3. In number 4, in the location, apply VLOOKUP to write the location as a result based on the course ID. So again, we are going to do the same like number 1, equals VLOOKUP. So matching what? Matching course ID, comma, where in this table, comma, the result from which column? 1, 2, 3, 4. It is number 4. The location is the fourth one. So number 4, comma, is it true or false? It is false as well. So click enter. So this is the location for each course ID based on this table. Okay, number 5. In the whole, apply switch to write the whole for each location based on. we are going now in the whole to apply switch function. Switch function will switch this value of the location based on these parameters. B101 means whole B, D203 or D204 or D211 means whole D, C203 means whole C. So equals switch. Okay. So switch what? You click on the location because you want to switch the location, comma. Now what are the parameters? Well, the first option is, as you see, B101, comma, means what? Means whole B. So this is all written between two quotation marks because the comparison or the options are based on text to text, comma. What is the second option? Second option is D203 as a text, comma, means whole D. Okay, so what else? Also D204 means what? Means whole D. What else? D211 means whole D. Okay, what else? The last one is C203 means what? Means whole C. So when you close the bracket, you will see the result is whole D because this is D203. When we double click it, it will start to give the whole automatically for all locations. Now coming to number 6, in the repeat fees, apply VLOOKUP to determine what the required fee for each course. Then get the result of the number of failed tests multiplied by fees for each course. So what we want to do simply that we have here the repeat fees. Now we have the fees for each course that is in the small table. It is based on the course ID. At the same time, we want to multiply these fees based on the course ID with the number of failed tests not passed. So that's why we are going to use VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP now will match the course ID for each line and check that which fees is applicable for this course ID. So based on these fees, we are going to multiply it by the number of failed tests. So now equals VLOOKUP. So matching what again? Matching the course ID, comma, with the small table, comma, getting the result as number 3, 1, 2, 3, the third column for the fees. So number 3, comma, true or false? Yes, this is false. Exact match. So as you see now, still we will add, multiply by the number of failed tests. Click enter. So now it becomes the number, the correspondent fees multiplied by number of failed tests. So let us now repeat or copy the formula. You will see that, for example, it's coming 0 because here there is no failed tests. The number of failed tests equals 0. That's why the result becomes 0 and so on. Okay. Number 7, insert pivot table, then apply one of the basic functions. So now we are going to insert pivot table and apply one of the basic functions. In brief, the pivot table is used to summarize data based on one of the basic functions, mainly sum, count, average, min, max, standard deviation. So the first question is list of rooms and the size for each room. So now we want to get list of what this is. You see that we have here rooms column and we have size column. So for example, when you come to D311, the size is 61. When it is repeated, the size still 61. So we want to get list of rooms, this column, and get the size from this column. So let us first apply the pivot table. You click inside first, anywhere, then go to insert pivot table, then click OK. So it becomes, now we got the pivot table designer. Then we will start to solve. List of rooms means that you drag the rooms to the rows area. So now you will see that we got list of all rooms without repeating anyone. The next one is the size for each room. So let us drag and drop the size to the values area. Once you do this, you will get calculation or summarizing or calculating this summary based on sum. In fact, our solution is not sum because we want to get in question number 7 size for each room. So we don't want to get the total size, and we don't want to get how many size, for example. What we don't want to get the highest or lowest value. We want to get the exact value. Remember that if you have, for example, 5 values and they are equal, then when you get the average for these 5 values, you will get the value for the same, any of them will be the same value. So the solution for this size is simply what is the average of this size. Remember that even you apply max or min, you will get the same result because it is one value, it is not changed. So the sum of the same value or the average of the same values simply give you the same value. So that's why we are going to change from the value field settings the calculation from sum to average or max or min, whatever. All of them is working the same because it's the same value again. So click OK. Now it becomes list of all rooms with the value for each room. So this is number A. Number B, how many courses in each room? Add another calculation to show the number of courses. Well, now how many courses in each room? You see that we have a course ID column. So each room has some course ID. So if you come to C313, for example, and you get the sum or how many, the count of course ID, it will give you how many courses. So let us go to the course ID, drag it to the values area, then apply, change the sum to count, then click OK. Now it becomes how many courses done for each room, as you see on the screen. Number C, filter the table by days and show only FSU and MU. Okay. In order to filter the pivot table, we can simply go drag and drop the days to the filter area, or you can also insert slicer and select the days. So you see that we have here the days. So let us select, make it multi-selection and go to remove first the selection. Now the question is asking you about FSU MW. So this is F, this is S, this is U, this is MW. That's it. So number 8, now we are going to use what if analysis. Here for number 8 we have A, B. Okay. A means what? What is the value of factor 1? In question number 8, you see you have the formula looks like this: factor 1 multiplied by factor 2 plus factor 1 multiplied by plus between two brackets factor 1 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, we don't care about how this calculation is going on. The only thing that what is the question? The question is asking you, number A, what is the value of factor 1? In order to get the result equals 12.55. So we want to change this result based on this factor to make it 12.55. So we are going to use goal seek in data what if analysis goal seek. So in the goal seek, set cell to the result to what? To 12.55 by changing cell so which cell has to be changed? Factor 1, click OK. So it becomes the solution now, as you see, very simple. Number B. Assume that you have a test experiment and you need the results if you change both factor 1 and factor 3. So now we are having this kind of data. In factor 1, it's coming on horizontal way. Factor 3 is coming on vertical way. We want to get the result here. For example, if factor 1 is 1.5 and factor 3 is 3.33. So what is the result here? As another one, if you come here under 1.6, so what is the calculation or what is the result if factor 1 is 1.6 and factor 2, for example, or factor 3, 3.331, and so on. So it means that we have to apply data table. So this data table, either one variable or two variables. Now we are going to apply it. As you see on the screen, it is not one variable, it is two variables. The solution has to be, we will select this area and apply data table, but we cannot leave the formula here. According to the structure of the data table, the formula has to be, when it is two variables, so it has to be in this location, the top of the first column. So we first move the formula here, then we highlight all this area by this way. Then you go to what if analysis data table. Then let us check where is the row input cell. As you see, we have factor 1 and factor 3. Factor 1 is coming on the row basis, and factor 3 coming on the column. So simply the row input is factor 1 and the column input is factor 3. Now you click OK, you will see, thanks God, it's solved easily. And if you check the solution, you will see how long time or how difficult it is to make this kind of work manually. So now let us go to the last one. If you have a following list, now this is the list. This is list of sections. This column is list of sections. Okay. Now the last three characters contains either lecture, lab, or studio, STD. In order to process some functions that retrieves only section, we want without lecture, lab, or studio. So the purpose is, as you see now on the screen, this is ADV-200-A1-LEC lecture. If what we want to do simply is to remove this dash lecture and just get the section without it. So how to do this? In order to do this, we are going to make it on two steps. The first step, what is the position of lecture, lab, and studio? Now, as you see on the screen, the position of lecture, lab, or studio means that starting from the first character, now let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it is number 12. So the first one for ADV-200-A1 lecture, the position of LEC or lecture is 12. So how to get it now automatically? We don't want to make this kind of work manually. Assume that you have column contains 50,000 rows or records. Do you think that you are going to waste 1 month or 2 months to calculate them manually? That's not possible, and that's not professional work. So how to do this? Now we want to apply three functions to get this position automatically. Number A, write function contains ifs, ifs, write, and find. To what? To produce the position of lecture, lab, studio. So for example, the first one has to be 12. Okay. So now let us apply the three functions, ifs, write, and find. So what is the idea behind this? I'm going to explain briefly. The idea is using ifs now, we are going to use ifs to determine that is the last three characters lecture or lab or studio. Okay, so how to know what are the last three characters, it will be done using write function. So write function write comma 3 will give you the result as the first three letters from the right side. So these three letters will be either lecture or lab or studio. So based on this value, is it lecture or lab or studio, we are going to apply find function to get the position for this lecture or lab or studio. So equals IFS open bracket. Now, what is the first logical test? The first logical test will be assuming that it is lecture. So let us find the position of the lecture. So how to know that it is lecture? You first start with write. So write what? Write. You click on this text, comma, number 3. It means that the first three characters from the right, comma. Close the bracket. So now write this text, comma 3 equals LEC lecture. So now this is the first logical test. If write section equals test lecture, then what? Comma. Now let us apply find function. Find open bracket. Find what? Find lecture, where within this text, comma, starting from number 1. So we have done with the first option. So what is the second logical test, comma? Now let us repeat. In fact, we don't need to, okay, let us write it again. So write. So write what? Text, the whole text, comma 3 equals, this time lab. Then what to do if it equals lab? Find open bracket the position of lab, comma, in this text, comma, starting from number 1. So it is done. Now what is the last possibility? It is studio, STD. Then comma, the logical test 3 is write. Again, write in the section, comma 3 equals, between two quotation marks, as you see, because this is a text STD, studio. Then what to do now? Use find to get the STD location within this text, comma, starting from number 1. Close the bracket. So the solution, as you see now, becomes 12 because it is lecture. Now let us double click to repeat. You will see that in the lab, this one it will come to 13, this one 11, and so on. So it is getting the number of the position of lecture or lab or studio automatically based on IFS, then write, then find. Now the next part is section only. Number B, using mid function, in addition to the generated result. So in addition to this result, we are going to use mid function that removes lecture, lab, or studio from the name and contains only the section name. So this is what we want to do, only the section name. So let us apply mid function now. So equals mid open bracket. Remember that mid function is retrieving part of the text based on the number of characters. Now we have the number of characters, like 12, as you see. So equals mid open brackets. So where is the text? This is the text, comma. Start number, start from number 1, comma. For how many characters? For this number of characters. Click enter, or it gives you the section, but still there is AL. It means that we have to go back 2 characters. So what we will do simply, so the number of characters here, as you see, when you click on this number of characters, you will also make it -2. Now it gives you exactly. So for example, if this position is 12, so the correct position that will give you the section name only without lecture, lab, or studio will be 10. That's why I put it -2. Now after getting the first result, you simply double click to see that. Thanks God, all results are coming correct. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.